The following program is the work of the broadcast students at the British Columbia Institute of Technology. Bcit Magazine features news stories from around the Lower Mainland which were produced over the last week. Responsibility for the content of the show rests completely with the students and their instructors.
Today on Bcit Magazine, a dogfight over barking.
A vote to clean up Burnaby.
And spring has sprung in the Fraser Valley.
Welcome to Bcit Magazine. I'm Parmvir Kang.
And I'm Karisa Cheng. Here's what's happening in Metro Vancouver.
Dog owners are speaking out about a controversial procedure that removes a dog's ability to bark. The BC SPCA is working to ban the practice for being inhumane. Reporter Victor Gaucher chases the story.
What's your dog's name, first of all?
Yeah, this is Michael.
Michael,
Yeah,
I love it.
He's a 5-year-old Labradoodle.
According to Michael's owner Anthony, renting with a dog can be harder than expected.
Renting in a very common place where there's high traffic of people coming back, and there definitely is a lot of complaints about dogs barking.
To manage the noise, some doctors still offer debarking procedures. However, according to this SPCA spokesperson, these operations leave the dog with many health concerns later down the road.
You can start to get some scarring where those vocal cords have been cut, and that can actually cause narrowing, so it can cause breathing difficulty.
Drop it.
Dr. Gordon says that dogs bark as a way to express themselves. Are they in pain? Bored? Maybe they just need to go outside and use the bathroom.
Dogs bark for a reason, and so debarking would only address kind of the sound, but it wouldn't address the underlying motivation.
2 Canadian provinces have already banned these procedures, and that is why the BC SPCA is working to outlaw them across our beautiful province as well.
Do you speak? Speak.
Definitely, there are still veterinarians who do perform the procedure, and so small numbers of dogs are still being subjected to this procedure in British Columbia.
Dr. Gordon says debarking procedures are becoming less common due to the fact that many vet schools have removed them from the curriculum. From Vancouver, I'm Victor Gaucher with Bcit Magazine.
Our reporter Victor Gaucher now joins us with more. So Victor, tell us, which provinces have banned debarking?
These procedures are already banned in Alberta and Nova Scotia, but according to Dr. Gordon, Quebec will be banning them this summer. On the back of Quebec's announcement, that is when the BC SPCA put forward their petition to get debarking procedures banned here as well. For more information, or if you'd like to sign the petition, you can visit the BC SPCA website. Back to you, Parmvir.
Thank you, Victor.
One Burnaby man hoping to run for city council this fall is campaigning in a unique way. He's picking up litter around the community. Reporter Seamus Page caught up with him.
Martin Kendall spends his off time cleaning up litter around Burnaby and organizing public events to encourage more people to do the same. He is also campaigning as an independent candidate in the Burnaby municipal election this October.
I was running in the municipal by-election in 2021 and taking my kids to parks all over Burnaby and just got sick and tired of seeing garbage everywhere. So I went and bought a pair of tongs and a bucket and started cleaning up. And I felt that somebody had to step up and put in a little sweat equity to just remind people how nice parks and streets around here can look.
As part of a fundraising campaign for his bid later this year, he also organizes larger events for people to get together and clean up the city. Marina Miller attended one of Martin's events back in April, and she says that it was a learning experience.
Obviously, there's a need for extra work because now citizens are taking it into their own hands, and we discovered quite a lot of trash.
Kendall believes Burnaby can be the cleanest municipality in the Lower Mainland, but it requires some community engagement and Burnaby City Council initiatives, even for something as simple as trash cans.
They just need to make sure that they're in visible places. I go to a lot of parks and you have to literally go on a search to try and find yourself a trash bin to throw your stuff away in.
Martin and his supporters are optimistic that Burnaby can become a cleaner city and will continue their work leading up to the elections. Seamus Page in Burnaby for Bcit Magazine.
Experts say with the rise of extreme weather events, public stress levels have also gone up. They're calling it eco-anxiety. Our reporter Shivani Joshi explores the issue.
Floods, atmospheric rivers, wildfires. These extreme weather conditions have taken a toll on British Columbians in this last year. Now, researchers at SFU are measuring the impact the environment has on mental health, something they're calling eco-anxiety.
I think it's really interesting because we don't really have a conversation going on in Canada yet in a really robust way about the mental health impacts of climate change.
By tracking social media posts, researchers are learning how events like last year's heat dome have taken a toll on the mental health of Canadians.
This is a study that allows us to listen to people who are living their lives and experiencing climate change events.
To navigate through these difficult feelings researchers have been measuring on social media, a UBC nurse came up with a solution. She created a toolkit to help people cope with their eco-anxiety.
This impending doom that has to do with the changing climate and how does that make you feel? And it also kind of encourages the audience to think about solutions or ways that they can start to kind of work through those emotions in order to actually start getting engaged with change.
Like huge anxiety, like no one cares and no one's doing anything about it.
A little bit worrisome for us, so there definitely needs to be a change and we need to kind of be aware.
Uncomfortable, worried about the future, worried for my children and grandchildren.
Mental health experts say those who are experiencing eco-anxiety should get involved in community-based activities that allow them to get outside.
It would be incredibly healing to be able to be in nature and just see how, in spring the flowers are still growing, that nature is adapting.
Experts say when we measure what we treasure, we can build healthier communities and a healthy planet. Shivani Joshi in Burnaby for Bcit Magazine.
Western officials believe Russian President Vladimir Putin could soon declare war on Ukraine on May 9th. The date is known as Victory Day in the country. Since their invasion on February 24th, Putin has insisted the country is carrying out a special military operation. Experts believe this would allow Putin to mobilize reserve troops.
Coming up on Bcit Magazine, some relief for those waiting for childcare spaces.
And we meet the people behind a Surrey community kitchen.
A defining moment for me was when I finished my first internship and got lots of really great feedback from industry professionals.
I would have never imagined I'd be walking into the floors of TSN and thinking, I'm not a student anymore, I'm here to work.
I will be starting a job with an investigative news program in Toronto, and I'm really excited to see that grow into what will become, hopefully, my dream job.
BCIT broadcast and online journalism, putting you to work.
Welcome back to Bcit Magazine. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has affirmed his support for a woman's right to choose after a leaked document suggests that the U.S. Supreme Court could strike down Roe v. Wade. While abortion has been decriminalized in Canada since 1988, many are worried that a U.S. ban could galvanize similar movements north of the border.
Educators at Richmond's Jewish Day School are thrilled about new funding for a childcare facility. Officials say spaces are scarce, but this should make the transition to elementary school easier. Reporter Dennis Shinolu headed there to learn more.
The Richmond Jewish Day School is a cultural hub in Richmond. The principal is excited to add more students to her school.
We are a very small, tight-knit school. We don't have huge enrollment numbers, which allows us to know one another on a very deep level.
With student art and motivational posters on the wall, the kids have really made the Richmond Jewish Day School their own. The childcare facility would be right next to the school, and that would come with some big advantages.
Kids will already know the building, will know a lot of the faces and the staff and faculty, so it makes for an easier transition.
The MLA for the Richmond South Centre believe that the Richmond Jewish Day School program can play a big role in promoting diversity for the community.
Maybe some different Jewish community family member prefer their child to be raised in an environment where they feel most comfortable, that's connected with the family, connected with the culture, and connected with the tradition.
For the actual makeup of the program, the Director of Early Childhood Education with the Richmond Jewish Day School is taking inspiration from her son's daycare.
It's an incredible program where it's about the celebrations and it's about community and it's about the children's interests.
Solomon plans for the program to handle children individually, tailoring their education through community and events to give each child a unique experience. Getting a child into a daycare center can seem impossible, but the Richmond Jewish Day School is providing a vital service with open arms. Dennis Shinolu in Richmond, Bcit Magazine.
Our reporter Dennis Shinolu joins us now with more. Dennis, is childcare a priority for our government?
Yes, thank you, Karisa. Childcare has always been a big problem for BC. The province is giving the government program, Childcare BC, $30 million for the upcoming school year. Up to $1.5 million of this fund is available for the Richmond Jewish Day School to use. Karisa, back to you.
Thank you, Dennis.
Some people are struggling to afford food as prices skyrocket across the country. Many are turning to food banks and charities for help. Reporter Jacob New talked to the director of a local community kitchen working to ensure no one goes hungry.
Joining me today is Lindsay Rempel, Director of Programs for the Cloverdale Community Kitchen. Thank you so much for joining us, Lindsay.
Thanks for having me.
What does the Cloverdale Community Kitchen do as an organization?
Yeah, so we have a number of different programs, but our primary mission is to address food insecurity. We did start out primarily as a soup kitchen where we were serving meals 3 nights a week. We have now moved to 5 nights a week. And then we also have a Meals on Wheels type program where we deliver meals to seniors and other vulnerable people. And then we also have a food bank where we distribute food 3 times a week.
As you may know, Canada has been facing a record amount of inflation this year, one of the biggest increases on record. How has your kitchen felt the waves of those increases?
Yes, we've really felt it in a number of different ways. It has brought an increased amount of people seeking our services. The cost of food that we need to buy, so sometimes we need to purchase food, supplement the donations that come in. And then it has also, we found that it's impacted donations that have come through. When the cost of food is so high, people are just less willing to, buy extra that they can donate to a food bank.
Was there anything else that you could say about your organization that you think is important to get out there?
Yeah, just that the need is great with both the impacts from the pandemic and from rising food prices. It has really hit people hard from many different directions. And so the need is great. So, if anybody is able to donate anything, big or small, anything helps, whether, you bring a few cans or you're able to, donate a few $100s, everything goes a really long way towards helping people in our community. So.
Again, thank you so much for doing this. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks so much.
Spring is here, and garden enthusiasts have been flocking to the eastern Fraser Valley to enjoy the scenery. Chilliwack's Tulip Festival was in full bloom for the first time post-COVID. Reporter Gurpreet Kambo traveled there to smell the flowers.
The Chilliwack Tulip Festival is back in full bloom this year.
It's my birthday, so it's a present from my best friends. I always feel like it's like a carpet of the multiple bright colors.
I like all the colors. Yeah. That was surprising to me. I wasn't expecting so many different colors.
Because of the pandemic, this is the first time in 2 years the festival is at full capacity.
We did have to close for 2020. We did not open the fields for anyone that year. And last year we did open, but we had a capacity limit.
Last fall's atmospheric river caused devastating flooding across the province, something that also impacted the festival.
Hyacinths, we did lose probably 50% because our fields were underwater for 2 to 3 days. The tulips, in terms of the show, look great, but we did lose some bulbs in there, and we won't know the extent of that loss until we actually dig them up in June. With a tulip, what you see in the fields is the stem and the tulip flower. But in the ground, the most important part for us as a grower is the bulb. And then the roots are how they grow and they get nutrients from the ground.
Despite the challenges, the show went on, and even with new features.
Antique horse carriage, which is a lot of fun for people to sit on in amongst the tulips. But otherwise, we have lots of swings, raised platforms, bikes, all the key photo ops that people love to take their pictures with.
For some, the tulips bring back memories of home on the other side of the world.
So in Kashmir, we have this type of valley, tulip valleys. So it reminds me about that. It automatically inclines you towards the happy moments. So yeah, it's very beautiful. It's calming for me. So we have to visit.
Gurpreet Kambo in Vancouver for Bcit Magazine.
Coming up on Bcit Magazine, the Vancouver Sun Run is back.
And the power of music overcomes tragedy.
I'm Jacob New.
And I'm Silvia Senna, and this is your community calendar for Bcit Magazine.
Time remains frozen at the Burnaby Village Museum, celebrating 50 years of operation. Summer season starts May 7th with free admission. Come and step back in time with interactive exhibits and a carousel ride.
And farmers markets are beginning to spring up across Metro Vancouver. Fall English Market is now open right outside St. Andrew's Historic Chapel. But you can go to bcfarmersmarket.org to find the closest market to you.
The boys of summer are back as Vancouver Canadians baseball is in full swing. The Seas are in the middle of a 6-game series at home this weekend. Go and cheer on your squad at Nat Bailey Stadium. My name is Jacob New.
And I'm Silvia Senna, and this was your community calendar for Bcit Magazine.
Several elementary teachers are excited to receive free vegetable plants to use in their classes. Students will tend to the plants as they sprout this spring. As reporter Jay Zabanal tells us, the donated plants go a long way to promote food literacy and security.
Amazing, and take that load first.
Brent Mansfield is picking up his school share of over 100 starting plants. He teaches edible education at Lord Roberts Elementary School in Vancouver.
The harder part is actually managing how all the things we grow in the 28 garden beds don't get devoured by 1 or 2 of the classes. I need to make sure it's equitable across the classes because they're that excited about all of it.
This past Monday, Mansfield, along with other teachers from the Greater Vancouver area, received over 35,000 plants donated by Urban Roots Garden Market. The donation is part of an initiative to highlight the importance of school garden programs.
Each school today is getting 126 plants. We're doing a mix of veggies, herbs, and berries, and so we're really excited to have schools come today and pick up their plant packages.
The Vancouver School Board says it has many students' families with food insecurity issues, a problem amplified during the uncertainties around COVID.
So one way we can address that is to produce some food on our school grounds, but also give students appreciation of how food is grown, how it can be grown locally, and how this can be part of a sustainable solution for our city.
Mansfield says his school has 28 garden beds, and during springtime, most of his classes are spent outside.
I've started a lot of seeds in some of the garden beds, but to be able to then, as we patiently wait for those, jump ahead with an awesome donation of transplants and give my students the learning opportunities of just the different ways to grow food.
Mansfield says that in June, when school gardens are in full bloom, There is a possibility that the learning gardens can produce a salad bar that can feed over 100 students. Jay Zabanel in Vancouver for Bcit Magazine.
We are now joined by reporter Jay Zabanel. So Jay, tell us, how significant was this donation to the schools that received the plants?
Parmvir, it was a major investment. $100,000 worth of plants were donated to over 100 schools across Metro Vancouver. Several community gardens also received plant donations. Now, if you would like to support urban roots, they have 11 pop-up garden centers where you can get yourself some plants. Back to you, Parmvir.
Thank you, Jay.
Thousands of runners took to the street for the 38th annual Vancouver Sun Run. This was the first time in 2 years the event has taken place downtown due to COVID restrictions. Reporter Jasper Chu takes us to the finish line.
It's back to an annual tradition. Thousands of participants from Greater Vancouver, Canada, and the world are here for the Vancouver Sun Run.
It's pretty cool. It's a fun event. It's nice to see everybody out. The last 2 years, I know the Sun Run hasn't run. But yeah, it's really exciting to have our students out here and our teachers being able to run for our school.
This team from A.R. McNeil Secondary is warming up. While there are fewer runners than in the past, this group is excited to take part. And that feeling also seems to be among the thousands that came to participate.
It's it's an amazing energy at the Sun Run. It's always been such a positive event. People have been out training, getting ready for this event. They're here to set their goals early, do their training, and then they come out and they celebrate just having fun and running 10K in the streets of Vancouver.
And that's especially true with 27,000 of the regular 40,000 taking part in person. But on top of that, there are 3,000 virtual runners and 1,100 in the Shaw Mini Sun Run. Going forward, the Vancouver Sun Run's race director is looking to build back its participant levels from before the pandemic.
We hope to get back to our sort of 40,000, 50,000 participant day.
This is Jasper Chu in Vancouver for Bcit Magazine.
From Surrey is here. We've got Wendy Pope and it looks like Darwin OTs.
In sports news, 2 local junior hockey teams are making waves. The Vancouver Giants made history with an incredible upset, defeating the first place Everett Silvertips in 6 games. They will play the Kamloops Blazers starting Friday night. Meanwhile, the Abbotsford Canucks lost their first ever postseason series, being swept in 2 games by the Bakersfield Condors in the AHL playoffs.
A group of New Westminster ukulele players have overcome several challenges in the past 2 years, but the players refuse to stop the music. Reporter Kiara Collins taps her feet to the beat.
1, 2, 3.
New Westminster's Heritage Uke Club struggled to play music this year, like figuring out how to strike a chord through COVID.
It's a release of energy for me. I love doing it. You get kind of pent up, so I love getting out here.
Last year, the club's home base, the Heritage Grill, was shut down by COVID, then given relief money, made renovations, and opened up again, only to lose everything in a fire.
It was devastating. We were the last band, if you wish, to play at the Heritage Grill before they closed down for COVID.
Even though the loss was significant, they are thankful for their new venue.
We're at the mercy of who's going to have us, and this spot's just the perfect size for right now.
The acoustics are nice, the environment is nice, the bar is open.
About 30 people meet here every week. Learning to play is pretty easy.
Just get on YouTube and find a teacher that you like. Start with some simple CFG songs, but it's very easy. It's probably the easiest instrument next to a kazoo.
Just as long as you just... The easiness of playing has helped keep the setbacks of the pandemic behind them. The group is finding harmony once again.
Kiara Collins, New Westminster for Bcit Magazine.
If you have any questions regarding the show, you can contact us at bcit-broadcast.com or bcitnews.com. Thank you for joining us on this edition of Bcit Magazine. I'm Parmvir Kang.
And I'm Karisa Cheng. We leave you now with another view of the Tulip Festival. See you next time.